Alright, hello. I'm gonna try and do this the first video done with this camera, so let's see how it goes. Alright, so we're looking at prisms, and we want to be able to calculate the total area, lateral area, volume of a right and regular prisms. Before we get to that part, we need to be able to know exactly what are our bases, what are our faces, all of that. So, our bases are our parallel sides. So this would be a base on our rectangular prism, and so would this bottom one. The triangles would be our bases on a triangular prism. The other ones are called lateral faces, or a face. Okay, so these rectangles, all four of these rectangles here, and all three of these rectangles are called a face. Anytime you have an edge along your base, even if it is sharing a side with the lateral face, it is called a base edge. The sides that do not share anything with the base, those are called lateral edges. Alright, so let's look at what we're trying to find. Lateral area. Lateral area is very similar. It's like if I'm looking at a soup can label. It doesn't include the base. It does not include the bases. So our formula for that, for lateral area, is perimeter of the base times the height. So P stands for the perimeter of the base. Okay, it's very important to remember that it's of the base. There, that looks much better. All right. And then the little h is our height of our prism. Alright, total area. Total area is like wrapping paper or wrapping a present. So it's all of the outside in. So total area equals lateral area plus 2 area of the base. Okay, you could also see this written as, because instead of lateral area, we could plug this in. Perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. Okay. And these big B's mean area of the base. A lot of people will start to say big B stands for base, but it's area of the base. Alright, and the last one we're looking at is volume. So volume is big B, little h. And big B, again, area of the base. And then h is the height of the prism. Alright, so let's go ahead and practice. Alright, so our base is shaded for us this time. So let's name it. If our bases are rectangles, then it is a rectangular prism. Missed this. Okay, so lateral area. Lateral area is perimeter times height. So perimeter, I am just looking at this shaded area down here. So to find the perimeter, I'm going to do 8 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6, which equals 28. I also need the height. My height of my prism, how tall is my prism? It is a 2. So lateral area is going to be 28 times 2 equals 56. Total area is next. So lateral area plus 2 times big B. So before we get to this, we need to figure out what our big B is, what our area of the base is. Excuse me. Alright, so area for a rectangle is length times width. So we're going to do 8 times 6, which is 48. So we're going to come over here to our total area. Lateral area was 56 plus 2 times 48. And that gets us 152. Alright, volume. Let's add our answer in. Okay, volume. Big B, little h. Big B is 48. H is 2. So 48 times 2 is 96. So our volume is 96 units. Alright, let's look at a cube. Alright, on this next example, it tells us that each edge is 5. So that means I have 5 here, 5 here, 5 here. So I'm going to start with my lateral area, which is perimeter times height. So I'm looking at, on a cube it doesn't matter, they're all the same, but I'm looking at this bottom figure. So I'm going to do 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which equals 20. For lateral area, I also need my height of my prism, which is just 5. So, coming back over to lateral area, perimeter, we're plugging in 20. Height, I'm plugging in 5. So 20 times 5 is 100. Total area. Or you might also hear, instead of total area, surface area. same thing. So total area is lateral area plus 2 times big B. So we need to figure out our area of our base, our big B. So again, I'm just looking at this bottom figure here. I'm going to do 5 times 5, which is 25. So now we're going to go back over here to total area. 100 plus 2 times 25, which is 150. Alright, volume is big B, little h. So instead of big B, we're going to plug in the 25. And instead of h, we're going to plug in the 5. So 25 times 5 is 125. So our lateral area was 100 units squared. Our total area, 150 units squared. And our volume is 125 units squared. Alright, let's look at our triangular prisms now. Alright, so our bases, highlight it so you can see it better. This is our base. Our triangles are our two parallel sides. So our name is triangular prism. So we're going to start with lateral area, perimeter times height. So we're going to come over here and we're going to find our perimeter of our base. So it's 10 plus 10 plus 12, which is 32. To find our height, we're going to pretend and we're going to stand our pyramid up. So it is sitting on the base. And if we do that, it is now at a 4. Our height is 4. So we're going to go over here and we're going to plug it in. Instead of P, put a 32. Instead of H, we're going to plug in a 4. So 32 times 4 is 128. So our lateral area is 128 units squared. Total area is lateral area plus 2 times big B. Okay, so this is where things are a little tricky. So I'm going to draw out my equilateral triangle real quick. So that's my base. And my base is, well, it's not an equilateral, sorry. So my base is 12, and my sides are 10. I need to figure out what my height is to be able to find the area of my triangle. Alright, so the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And I know my base of my triangle is 12. But I don't know the height of my triangle yet. That's what I've got to find. So I need to just look at it as a right triangle. So this is going to be 6. Because it is not an equilateral triangle, I have to use Pythagorean theorem. So 6 squared plus b squared equals 10 squared. 6 squared is 36. Plus b squared 10 squared is 100. We're going to subtract 36 from each side to get 64. To get rid of our square root on each side, we square root it to get 8. So this is 8. So our height is 8. So it's going to be 1/2 times 12 times 8, which is 48. So now we can come back over here to our total area. We have lateral area, which we said was 128, plus 2 times area of the base. We just found the area of our base was 48. So we have 128 plus 2 times 48, which is 224. So our total area is 224 units squared. Okay, volume. Area of the base times the height. Okay, instead of big B, we're going to plug in the 48 that we found. Instead of H, we're going to plug in the 4. Remember, this is only for this triangle. When we come back over to this side, we're using things from the big triangle, from our big triangular prism. So our left information is just looking at this base. The stuff on the right looks at it as a whole. So 48 times 4 is 192. So our volume is 192 units cubed. Alright. Example 5. We have a base of a triangular prism is an equilateral triangle of 3. So I'm going to draw it out. Ooh, having issues with my paper. Not close. So here's our base. These two pieces right here. It says all the sides are 3. The height of the prism is 3 centimeters and 10 centimeters. They want us to find the lateral area in the volume. So lateral area is going to be perimeter times height. So remember, when we're looking for our perimeter of our base, we are just looking at this triangle that I've highlighted. So it's 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 9. Height of the prism. They told us height of the prism is 10 centimeters. So now let's come back to our right side. Instead of P, we've got the perimeter of 9 times the height of 10. So 9 times 10, which is 90. So our lateral area is 90. Alright, I'm going to draw out the base again so we can see it. Alright, so all of these sides are 3 centimeters. There we go. Alright, sorry. Okay, so I need to be able to find the area of my base. Remember, it's 1/2 base times height. And we're just looking at this triangle. So we know our base is 3. We just don't know our height. Because remember, height goes straight up and down. If we remember back, we also know right triangles are equilateral triangles all have 60-degree angles. So we can use 30, 60, 90. If you want, you can cut the base in half, and you can use Pythagorean theorem as well. But I think this is a lot quicker. Across from our 90 degrees is 3. So 3 is going here. So 2x equals 3. Well, 2 times what will give me 3? 1.5. And 1.5 square root of 3. So we basically just halved this number. Okay, my height is directly across from the 60. So my height is 1.5 square root of 3. Remember, that is just my height for my base. It is not the height of my prism. It is not going to go anywhere on this right side. So now let's multiply. 1/2 times 3 times 1.5. And that is 2.25 square root of 3. So for total area, we have lateral area plus 2 big B. So instead of LA, we have 90 plus 2 times 2.25 square root of 3. Okay. We know that we are not allowed to add things that don't have square roots on the same side. So this 90 is going to have to stay 90. But we can do 2 times 2.25, which is 4.5 square root of 3. The right side has a square root in it. The left side does not. So that is as far as we can go. So our total area is going to be 90 plus 4.5 square root of 3. Volume. Area of the base times the height of the prism. Area of the base is 2.25 square root of 3 times the height of the prism, which is 10. So 2.25 times 10 is 22.5 square root of 3. So 22.5 square root of 3. And I forgot my units on all of these, which are centimeters. So centimeters squared, because those are both area, and volume is centimeters cubed. Alright, I hope that helps. I will see y'all in lesson 4.